That ball is awesome.
Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids. Today we got Jungo on the lanes throwing the brand new DNA from Storm. I'm really excited to see this ball roll because they're saying it's a hook monster. We got a brand new core and cover on this ball. Starting with the inside, we got the new Super Coil core, and on the outside we got the brand new Exo solid cover stock. Exo, they're saying, stands for exotherm. A little bit too scientific for me, but if they say it's strong, then I'm gonna believe them. Because we got such a strong ball here, we got two other strong balls that Jung's gonna compare them to. Infinite Physix, which as you may know, was one of my favorite releases from last year. It's a pearl, but it's really, really strong. Got that physics core that we all know and love, and really covers a lot of boards. We also got the Supernova, which Jung reviewed a while back. Super early, really strong. It's gonna be really interesting to see how it does against the DNA here. We're bowling our Route 66 today, 45 feet of oil, challenge pattern, not too easy, not too hard. It's gonna be really interesting to see how far left Jung can go with these balls while still making them strike, because these three balls should love oil. We got the same layout on all these three bowling balls. In terms of expectations, well, we know it's gonna hook, but the question we have is how much it's gonna hook. So does Storm really need to have another really big asymmetrical bowling ball? Well, stay tuned to the end to find out. Keep the intro short and sweet. We wanna see these bowling balls and we wanna see some strikes. So let's head out onto the lanes.
All right, Jungo is back, throwing the brand new Storm DNA. Comparing against the Supernova, which is really early, really smooth in the back end, and hopefully this is a little bit later, a little bit more continuous. Let's find out. All right, trip to 4. Let's move 2 and 2 to the left. 2 with the feet, 2 with the eyes. Keep it in the oil a little bit longer. Yeah, absolutely amazing. You know, it's really good for me when I see an asymmetrical tank like that continue down in the back end, because as we've seen, there's some balls that are just really strong. They just hook really early and they kind of roll out, lose their energy really fast. So for a ball to continue through the pins like that, I really like it. All right, let's throw the Supernova. It's not quite box finish. Box finish is really dull. So it's got a little bit of lane shine, and I think this is really where this ball is good, surface-wise. All right, I missed a little bit left there, but as you can see, that ball is not as continuous as the DNA. A little bit earlier, a little bit flat off the spot, Supernova. And it's for that reason right there, where it's really early, really flat, is why I don't get to use this ball very much. It needs a lot of oil. That was really fast, not much revolutions, and left to target equals dead flush. All right, let's try that one more time. Yeah, as you can see, it's much earlier and flatter than the DNA. So if you got a Supernova, it's a little bit too early for you. The DNA is gonna be really good. Let's go down to the Infinite Physix. Asymmetrical pearl, really big core, really high-end ball, just like the other two. And we're gonna see how it compares. Yeah, bone and 9, so just a little bit more pop down lane with the pearlized cover stock on the Infinite Physix. And you can really see the steps these balls take. So Supernova, the earliest, Infinite Physix, the latest, and the DNA kind of fits right in the middle. So very similar, just very subtle differences. All right, let's move one board left with the Infinite Physix because we left a 9-pin. What? Man, this ball smells good. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite scented ball from Storm? And also, if you could make a scent or add a scent to your ball, what would you do? Let me know down in the comments. I think they should bring back chocolate. Okay, back to the DNA. Let's throw it on the same line we just threw the Infinite Physics. You're gonna see it roll a little bit earlier, be a little bit smoother down lane, and we're not gonna get a 4-9 like that. That ball's awesome. It's not as early as a Supernova, which is a little bit too early for me. It's not as snappy as something pearlized like the Dark Code or the Infinite Physics. Right in the middle. This ball is awesome. I'm gonna use this ball a lot, I already know. Reminds me a lot about the Halo from Rotogrip a few years ago. I used that ball quite a bit. This ball really reminds me of that. All right, let's go 2 more to the left. This ball's awesome. Another flush strike. I think that's the perfect spot for it though. A little further left than what I thought it was gonna be on the fresh. We're about 5 boards left of where I started from. This ball reads the mid lane really well and continues through the pins. I just knew this ball was gonna be good just because when it came out of the box, it wasn't super dull and furry like the TNT or the Supernova. And you could just tell it would get down the lane a little bit easier. Because of that, it has a little more energy stored up, a little more continuous through the pins. Suits my eye way better. So let's go 2 more to the left from the previous shot, and then we'll throw the Supernova in the same line. Sick. All right, Supernova on the same line. I'm thinking this is just gonna leave a 10 pin or something a little bit light, just because it's gonna roll that much earlier. Yeah, 2-8. See how it just reads the lane a little bit earlier? Not enough continuation. A little bit light from that far inside. All right, 1 more with the Supernova. We're gonna move 2 boards to the right. Try and hit the pocket with it. I missed a hair to the right there at the break point, but that was okay. It struck, but as you can see, it just rolls out a little bit earlier. All right, let's keep moving up with the DNA. So 2 more left of the previous strike with this ball. Wow, I missed a little bit right at the break point there too. Came back and struck. Ball's good. You can really see it rev up in the mid lane and then continue in the back end. Well, I'll be bringing this ball everywhere, that's for sure. Kick out the reality, kick out everything. Except for this. Last shot with the DNA, and we'll send it home. 2 more left. Nice slow hook. Oh yeah, a little too deep for it. Let's head back to the shop.
All right, back from the lanes, throwing the brand new DNA. Wow, this ball really surprised me how continuous it was back down in the pin deck. Shooting against the Supernova here, which is not truly out of box, got a couple games on it, a little bit of lane shine, and this ball is still way earlier, way flatter off the spot. There's not many patterns out there where I can use this Supernova. It's just so early, it's just so furry, it's just really hard to use without being super flat off the back end and leaving a 10 pin every time. But on the other hand, this DNA is like the absolute perfect asymmetrical solid that I could throw. It reads the mid lane really well, still a really strong bowling ball, but continues through the pin deck. Kind of reminds me of the Reality a little bit, and also the Halo from a couple years ago. Threw that ball a lot, had a couple of them, and it did the exact same thing as this back in the day. Read the mid lane really well, continued through the pins, and could handle a lot of oil, right? Where the Supernova here handles a lot of oil, but it's really flat off the spot. It really loses its energy going down the lane early. Definitely a place for this, definitely a good ball for some bowlers out there, but for me, the DNA just suits me a little bit better. And I think I'm going to be taking the DNA everywhere I go for the next little bit. I also threw the Infinite Physics. This ball is definitely sharper off the back end than both of these. As you can see, the first shot I left a 9 pin there, throwing the same line. So you can just see how a little bit more angular this is down lane. It's going to be a perfect complement to this DNA, right? As soon as this gets a little early, a little flat, I'm going right into this Infinite Physics, and it should be a perfect 1-2 complement. And if the lanes are really soupy, or if there's a short pattern out there with a lot of volume, then I can throw the Supernova here. But just with my rev rate and my ball roll, just loses its energy a little bit too early for me. So if you're in the market for a high-end bowling ball, an asymmetrical solid, like, you know, a tank, but you don't want one rolling at your feet, rolling at the dots, this ball gets down the lane a little bit, you know. And when it came out of the box, I knew it wasn't gonna hook early. It didn't have as much surface as a Supernova. Kind of had a 3,000, 4,000 feel on it, despite what it said on the box. I just knew it wasn't gonna hook super early and have a little bit more down lane than the Supernova. So comparing this DNA to the other asymmetrical solids I throw, the Reality and the Proton Physics, I think it's definitely more continuous than all of those. Where the Reality is a little bit better for playing straighter, and you can move into the middle of the lane a little bit. And the Proton just outhooks everything like crazy. It starts early, it hooks a lot. It's continuous, but this DNA just goes a little bit further down lane and just a little bit more back end motion, which I prefer with my ball roll and my rev rate. So for those of you out there looking for a new tank, I would suggest this for the two-handers. As much rev rate as they can create, you know, some balls are just gonna hook too early. They're just gonna have no energy left down lane. They're gonna use it all up by the arrows. And this DNA here, I think, is gonna combat that a little bit. It's a really strong ball. It's gonna handle a lot of oil, but also it's not gonna hook super early for guys with a lot of rev rate, especially the two-handers. All right, in conclusion, this ball is awesome. You know, I don't say that about many balls, but this ball really revs up in the mid lane in the perfect spot and continues to the pins for me. I tested it out on long here in the video, but I've also thrown it on a house pattern and it was awesome. I think I'm gonna be taking this everywhere. You know, this is my new tank. Good job, Storm. We're near the end of the vid. Don't forget the question down below. What is your favorite scenting storm ball? Is that a word? I'm not sure. Anyway, what's your favorite smell of a storm ball? Let me know down in the comments below. And what would you create if you were in charge of creating a new scent? All right, I'm done. See you in the next vid, everyone.